Hey guys, so here we are back in the house for part two, the second part of the epidemic of loneliness disclosure. Welcome back in. If you have just come in, then you will need to watch part one after we finished with part two. We are discussing the epidemic of loneliness, and for those of you who have just rocked in, my name's Helen Christodoulou. I'm an intuitive transformation consultant, mentor and author of the Miracle Frequency, as well as the founder of the Fusion 7 Healing Mystery School. If your content is not valid, I'm going to block you, just so you know, okay? So we are in part two, and now we are looking at the functions and the mechanics of loneliness, okay? So we talked about symptoms earlier on, and now we're going to look at why it's happening. Why is this happening on a global scale, okay? So this loneliness is arising, guys, from a very deep place, as I mentioned earlier on in the first show that we just did, yes? So it's coming from a very deep place, and it's larger than having a partner or a soulmate. So it's not just about not having somebody in your life. It's very, very possible that you can be in the loneliness state even if you are in a relationship, and even if you are in a very joyful, happy or blissful relationship. It's very possible, especially if you're on the kind of person that's kind of on an awakening path, a path to truth, and all of this kind of thing. It is very, very possible. Stavromo, is that you? Welcome, darling. Welcome in the house. So guys, as the old world paradigm crumbles, as people will no longer stand for conformity, making do, or soppy seconds, we might find ourselves in the state of loneliness. Does that make sense? So it's about not basically, going for second best, basically, right? Isn't that right, Laurie? Yeah? So that part is very important. Yes. In order for true unity consciousness to arise, Truth Crew, we may go into a state of isolation. So this is another very important point. We all talk about unity this and unity that, and it should be, everything should be love and everything should be united, and it should. However, in order to reach that place, we may need to get on the journey of where we're going through that period of loneliness or isolation. Yeah? It shouldn't have to be painful, but if you were very much kind of programmed and conditioned in the old world, then this would be a reason why you may be in isolation. Absolutely, hermit mode, my love. Very beautifully said by Laurie, and don't forget to follow her also if you are following Periscope in general. Okay, so that is also very important. Another one is, it is mandatory for this isolation to occur in order to discover and know the self in a holonomic sense. Holonomico, basically means all the laws, so it just means completely. So in order to know yourself completely, you need to go into this space, state, or this journey whereby you may be feeling lonely at a very deep, fundamental level. Yes? Okay, by the way, these are my notes. I write them earlier on, and I'm sharing them with you, yeah? So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm on to point number 5, okay? More souls are required to rise from the slumber of ignorance. And so isolation is one of the experiences that is required to reach a higher state of consciousness, to be with one's self. So that kind of describes what we talked about earlier on. But it's also about awakening on a more collective level at this point. It's not just about the self, yeah? So the dichotomy here, it's so bizarre, and I was saying this to one of my clients the other day, is that there is so many people who are enduring and feeling the pain of this loneliness, this journey of loneliness, and yet so many people are going through it together. Isn't that so bizarre, you know? Lots of lonely people all going through it together. So you might want to sort of like contemplate on that. I think it's very, very interesting. More souls are required to connect at a higher level of awareness, and it is fundamental to the continuity of life on Earth. So this is one of the very important reasons why we're going through it. We're going through it not just because of our own interpersonal issues, but we're going through it to actually raise the vibrations of the beings, the inhabitants of this Earth and the Earth itself. So now we're going into the really deep esoteric stuff. I says I like being alone due to the outside chatter. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I'm a little bit like that. Like I don't fare too well being around a lot of people for an extended duration of time. Like I can do it when I'm teaching, I can do it when I'm facilitating, I can do it when I'm presenting, but on a social level, I can't do it sort of like for an extended period of time. That really, it really fatigues me. So is that how you feel too? Yeah? Okay. So we've come to our last point, Truth Crew, here we go. It appears that things are getting worse worldwide, but that's how everybody feels. Yeah, this is what I'm saying, it's an epidemic. Everybody's going through it because it is required for everybody to go through. It appears that things are getting worse worldwide, too much of good thing sort of thing. What do you mean by that, too much of a good thing? You mean being around situations and people? Because I don't see that as a good thing. I think that we have to be very, very selective. And if it means being lonely, then so be it. You know, then so be it, because that is the way to raise individual and collective vibrational frequency. Okay? So it appears that things are getting worse worldwide. However, it's funded by the dissolution of old in order to allow in the new. We need people around us, but at the same time must allow some alone time. Yes, right. Now I'm with you. Absolutely. But the thing is that we have become addicted to it. So if you didn't watch the first transition, darling, it tells you all about the symptoms and the causes. So we actually discussed what that was just before this little mini show. We did a mini show just before this one. Yeah, and it discusses what you have just basically framed right here. So thanks for that, Michael. So, as I said, it appears that things are getting worse. However, it's funded by the dissolution of the old in order to allow in the new. So, if we look at the world at the moment, if you look at what's going on, you know, the euro is crashing. The United States is in disarray. Prejudice and racism is coming to a peak. Police brutality is coming to a peak. Now, all of these incidences is creating on a collective level a type of separation, yeah? But we need to separate ourselves from lower and dense vibrations and frequencies in order to upgrade our own. This could mean conflict, this could mean resistance, this could mean, unfortunately, war, it could even mean death. And you've seen it happen this week. Sadly, it's been happening, right? But this lends itself to the feeling, the pandemic and the epidemic of loneliness that's going on globally at this time. So the reason, guys, that I'm sharing this with you is because don't despair, okay? You're not in this alone. There are many people that are on the journey of loneliness, and it's that strange dichotomy, as I said, we're lonely, but we're going through it together. So I have described the causes and the symptoms in our first show, and we've described the functions, the mechanics and the reasons from an esoteric perspective why it is happening. Now, if you are suffering from any of those symptoms, hey Daniela, if you are suffering from the pandemic or the epidemic of loneliness and wish to have help for that, then I am offering a free 30-minute session to the first person that I get an email from that writes into me on fusion7healing@gmail.com. You will get a 30-minute free consultation about your loneliness issue, and that starts from now. So thank you very much for joining me. Thank you very much for watching this very interesting, very important nugget of wisdom. Thanks so much for the hearts. I do appreciate it. By the way, I'm heading towards my 500 live stream. So with that, I'm hoping to get to 1 million hearts. So I do appreciate all your hearts. And I'm hoping that the 1 million hearts will coincide with the 500th stream that I will be celebrating with you guys. And not that it really matters or anything, you know, but it's just really cute, I think, you know. So thank you very much. Yeah, it is a great milestone. 500 live streams since, I think, perhaps May, I think, or June of last year on Periscope. However, you can catch all of my transmissions and all of my content also on my YouTube channel, Helen Christodoulou, and I would much appreciate your subscriptions to that, and also to join me on my social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and of course Periscope. Don't forget to follow and to share on. So guys, I hope that the truth is always the guiding force that is guiding you, that is with you. Imaste be ye, it means we are primary source. And don't forget, you know what? If the truth scares you, it doesn't matter, just go for it anything, because there is nothing more valuable than that. And that is what this channel, Fusion 7 Healing Truth School, is all about. I wish you lots of love. Until Wednesday at approximately the same time, be good, be safe, and be careful. Take care for now. Lots of love.